And would she be able to
And
corroborate?
there it is. So there's Jeffrey Epstein giving her questions to ask the president's former lawyer in a congressional hearing. Jeffrey Epstein is the one doing the questioning. Isn't that interesting? Here might be the craziest thing that we have seen so far in the Epstein files. So right there is a Democratic delegate from the Virgin Islands, Stacey Plaskett. It's now been revealed. The Washington Post did actually some good work on this. They found out that while she was questioning Michael Cohen, which used to be Trump's lawyer, when Cohen had flipped and turned and was giving evidence against Trump, she was questioning him at a congressional hearing. And while she was doing that, Jeffrey Epstein was texting her questions. This is real. Newly released documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate indicate that Stacey Plaskett, the Democratic non-voting delegate from the U.S. Virgin Islands, appears to have exchanged text messages with the SEX offender during Michael Cohen's 2019 House Oversight Committee testimony. The Washington Post first reported on the messages on Friday. These revelations shed new light on Epstein's alleged far-reaching ties and potential extent of his influence over politicians, raising questions on transparency, political relationships, and oversight at the highest levels of government. The messages do not show Plaskett engaging in wrongdoing, but suggest Epstein may have attempted to draw her attention to parts of Cohen's remarks in real time. It does more than that. It shows that she was a puppet of Jeffrey Epstein. Someone sitting in Congress. Epstein, who had been an SEX offender since 2008, let's remember that it was 21 underage girls, who accused Jeffrey Epstein. 21. That was the 2008 case where he got to, he only had to go to jail at night and he was free all day. That was his sentence. 21. In the text, Epstein's highlighted Cohen's mention of former Trump's aide, Rona Graff, calling her the keeper of the secrets. Minutes later, the unnamed recipient wrote, "Quick, I'm up next," just before beginning her questioning. The unnamed recipient? No, it's her. Epstein responded with, "Good work," shortly after the lawmaker finished. Good work. I can't think of a greater endorsement of character than receiving approval from Jeffrey Epstein. Am I right? So here it is. So you're going to show. So as she's sitting there, they put in real time. Here's the message that she's receiving. Text from Jeffrey Epstein. Are you chewing? Watch, she's chewing. Watch this.
Was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes.
She then said no. She said not anymore. She texted him back saying, "I'm not anymore." So then, this is from Epstein. Hey, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets. Let's watch this.
We'll turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
So she sends back to him, "Who's Rona? Quick, I'm up next." Is that an acronym? Who's Rona? That she's texting Jeffrey Epstein back. Who's Rona?
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea.
He texts back to her as she's sitting there. That's his assistant. Trump's assistant.
For the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate?
And there it is. So there's Jeffrey Epstein giving her questions to ask Trump, the president's former lawyer, in a congressional hearing. Jeffrey Epstein is the one doing the questioning. Isn't that interesting?
Many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his.
Good
and
work, he
she's
says.
Involved in a lot. That went
2 minutes after she asked that question, he texts her, good work.
on.
Kind of amazing, isn't it?
It's gross.
I'm surprised he didn't ask, hey, what are you wearing? His messages also included personal asides, like asking, are you chewing? After cameras briefly showed Plaskett moving her mouth during the hearing. The recipient replied that she was chewing the inside of her mouth, describing it as a long-standing habit. Epstein later offered unsolicited strategic observations and noted that Cohen had opened the door to further inquiries about Trump Organization's henchmen, suggesting he was following the exchange minute by minute. Wow. Plaskett declined to answer questions about the text when reached by the Washington Post. Her chief of staff told the outlet she was not in a position to confirm or not confirm whether the Congresswoman was communicating with Epstein. The messages were part of a large batch of Epstein emails and communications released this week by the House Oversight Committee. For decades, Epstein owned 2 private islands in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Little St. James and Great St. James, which prosecutors later described as central hubs of his SEX trafficking operations. Plaskett previously faced scrutiny over donations linked to Epstein. They weren't linked to him. She got donations from him. Why do they talk like this? After initially resisting calls to return contributions following Epstein's 2019 arrest, she then later returned them amid public backlash. So she wasn't going to give back the money that she took from Jeffrey Epstein until there was a public outcry. In 2023, 6 Epstein accusers sued several Virgin Island officials, including Plaskett, alleging that they benefited from his activities. Hey, how about everybody associated with Epstein pay us back? How about that? She set the precedent. The suit against her was voluntarily dismissed with prejudice earlier this year. Her attorney said Plaskett learned of Epstein's crimes at the same time the public did when news of his federal arrest became widely known. A delegate from the Virgin Islands doesn't know about his... That's a straight-up lie. Plaskett's office, in a statement Friday, said during the hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett received texts from staff, constituents, and the public at large, offering advice, support, in some cases, partisan vitriol, including from Jeffrey Epstein, Did she text back anybody else besides Jeffrey Epstein? That's my question. As a former prosecutor, she welcomes information that helps her get at the truth and took on the GOP that was trying to bury the truth. The Congresswoman has previously made clear her long record combating SEX assault and human trafficking, her disgust over Epstein's deviant behavior, and her support for his victims, the Post reported. Scott Jennings, a former advisor to President Bush, on Twitter Friday said, so Epstein was being counseled by the New York Times and was coaching Democratic members of Congress. Got it. Yeah. And watch the Democrats defend themselves by saying that it's anti-Semitic to decline a bribe from Epstein. Hey, not everything's about money. Sometimes it's about not having your electronic devices blow up on you and your family. Sometimes it's about not catching a bullet in the neck. Not always about money. Lee Fang says missing context in this story is the fact that Delegate Stacey Plaskett previously served in the Virgin Islands government in a role helping give Epstein tax carve-outs, then worked for Epstein's fixer on the island before getting elected to Congress. So this idea that she wasn't aware of anything he was doing, of course, is a lie. And she was the one that was, Michael Schellenberger says new Epstein files show that Stacey Plaskett got a real-time help text from Jeffrey Epstein on how to hurt Trump during 2019 congressional hearing with former Trump attorney. Plaskett is the person who smeared Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi over the Twitter files.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that? I do.
So-called journalist.
Called him a
them.
so-called journalist. Let's watch. And watch her.
I wanted to introduce into the record
Let's watch the crazy eyes in the back. So this is her assistant.
page 55 from the committee's interview with FBI employee Roya Demlow, who you just spoke about, which took place on July 17, 2023. In that line, she says, the question was asked, okay, if someone were to leave here today, were to leave this interview and were to suggest or imply that when you said the laptop was real, that it meant that the FBI had affirmatively determined in October 2020 that the laptop belonged to Hunter Biden, that the contents belonged to Hunter Biden, and that the contents had not been manipulated in some way, would they be representing what you said, correct? Answer by Ms. Demlow. They would be representing what I said because I don't have much knowledge of that. They would be misrepresenting what I said because I don't have much knowledge of that. Because this committee likes to misrepresent or leave off complete sentences of what individuals said, I'd like to introduce this into the record.
Objection.
Thank you. And as to no comment by an FBI, that's usually what they say.
So what happened? Was Jeff Dunham unavailable? They had to get this ventriloquist to sit behind her?
No kidding. The whole time.
She's like her controller in the background, moving her lips like she belongs in radio, not on camera. So there you go. Jeffrey Epstein controlling the questions of a Democratic Congresswoman investigating Donald Trump. Wow. Wow. Now you know why lots of people don't want those Epstein files out, do you? Do they? Wow. So, of course, when she was attacking Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi for doing good, the whole Democratic Party was doing that. But she was the loudest and the most vicious and threatening them with prosecution, stuff like that. Because they were finding out the truth. They were finding out the truth about the censorship from the Biden White House over the Hunter Biden laptop, over COVID, over the vaccines, over everything. That's amazing. This is amazing, and it's not getting any coverage. It's not getting the coverage it should get. It's getting some coverage. It's not getting the coverage. This should be unbelievable.
She should be removed.
She should be. You would think.
A long line of people need to be removed.
But of course, she's doing this at the behest of the establishment, which is why it's okay. Okay, all right. Now you know the rest of the story. Hey, come see me tell jokes about this in Pottstown, Pennsylvania on December 6th. Waikiki, Hawaii on January 11th. It's a Sunday. And then we'll see you January 30th. That's a Friday at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Hey, microplastics are infiltrating every part of our lives. Scientists estimate we now consume a credit card's worth of plastic every single week through our food, water, and even the air we breathe. One study found plastic particles in 100% of human lung samples. Nobody's safe from exposure. It gets worse. These plastics don't just sit in your body. They cross the gut lining, leach into your blood, and disrupt everything. They've been shown to alter gut bacteria, suppress your immune response, and increase your risk for neurodegenerative disease, metabolic disorders, and cancer. Some plastic toxins like BPA and phthalates mimic hormones, interfere with fertility, and damage DNA. Even if you eat clean and avoid packaged foods, you're still being exposed. You can't opt out. But your gut can help you fight back. Kimchi One from Brightcore Nutrition is potent ally in this toxic world. It's packed with over 900 probiotic strains, unique to kimchi and proven to break down BPA, helping you detox from the inside out. It doesn't just support digestion. It helps protect your cells, your brain, your hormones, and your future. Your body was never designed to handle plastic, but your gut was designed to protect you. You just have to give it the right tools. Right now, you can get 25% off with my code DORE at the link below. For an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore, and you can get up to 50% off and free shipping. The number, 888-253-0418. Come see me on tour in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Waikiki, Hawaii, and the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.